So with this not applying this motion, it will at least help the poor people in developing country. It will explain by me in my several arguments, but before that, let's go to my rebuttal. First rebuttal. They say about the money politic that will happen if this kind of motion is not applied. For example, when the political party give the food towards the poor people, it seems like money politic. We don't think so, ladies and gentlemen, and it seems like a ridiculous argument coming from them. Why I say so? The money politics means that you give money towards these poor people, but in here we give a food. On how that they can say this kind of money politic? When it is like a money politic, of course the government, since the very first place, they will cut every political party in our country. And it is really not good towards the government to say that this is, by giving food, it seems like political party. And we believe that those argument is wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Second of all, they also mention about the intention. When we give the food towards the poor people, it will seems like this political party has another intention towards these poor people. For example, something like food. But we don't think so. I will explain about this rebuttal in my argument. But let's see to those words that coming from the opening government since the very first place, ladies and gentlemen. They say about that every political party that coming in the election, for example, they have some intention to create some law to ruin this kind of country by giving food towards these poor people. We don't think so, ladies and gentlemen, and we mention it as an evil speech coming from the opening government. Why? Because it seems like we make every political party has some intention to win this country, but we don't think so. There are no political party want to ruin this country since the very first place. That's the truistic, and that's what happened in our country. Our country still stand, and our country still as a country, not in ruin because of this kind of political party come out as president, for example. So that's all the rebuttal. Let's go to my first argument. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that with not applying this motion, it will create a good condition toward the political party itself. Why I said so? It will create good perspective towards this political party in government vision. Why it can become like that? Let's imagine about this. Our status quo right now said that political party is full of bribery people, full of corruption people, and full of negative comment and negative thing about this political party itself, ladies and gentlemen. And it's really harm towards the political party itself. Why it's harm? Because when this political party want to, for example, like create some agenda in the future to promote this party, government will not accept this kind of agenda in the future. But when we not apply this motion, and we still let this political party give a food towards these poor people, it will create that government will see this political party as political party in a good manner, for example. Because at least this political party help government to solve the poor people and poverty problem in our developing country. That's all that this perspective coming from government, it's okay and still okay. And on how this kind of perspective can help this political party. For example, in the future, political party will create some agenda, and this agenda will accept and will get permission coming from the government. Of course, this political party, this agenda will promote their party to make this party become bigger, to take the people's sympathy by this kind of agenda. But imagine when this political party has a bad perspective coming from the government, this political party will not get given permission from the government, and it's really bad, ladies and gentlemen. Because we think that government is rational enough for them to choose and to has a decision whether which one the political party is good and which one the political party is bad. So we think that the government's perspective is really good, ladies and gentlemen. The second argument is coming from that second argument is about we can create the competitions between the political party. What's wrong with the competition? We think that when we let our political party, for example, give a food towards the poverty people, it will create create that one party and each other will compete each other to give more food towards this poor people country, and on how that perhaps there are a lot of questions about on how the little party will still expand in this competition. We think that it will create that the little political party will go expand, will go bigger and wider in their mind, in their vision. So this little party will do as hard as he can to give food also towards this poor people party, not lose from the big party, ladies and gentlemen. So this competition is really good because government believe that even if they has some intention, we think that with give food towards this poor people country, it will create health society since the very first place. We think that the main idea of this giving food is to help society and to solve the poor people in our country. And on how about the idea about they said about to get a voice is not to get a voice. They are said about that to get a voice, they giving a food and money, practical for example. But it is not happen in our country or even in developing country in status quo right now. I have a big example that can show you on how the people is rational enough to face with people give your food or the meritocracy itself. The example is between Jokowi and Haritanu Sudibyo, ladies and gentlemen. We think, let's comparison. Haritanu is give food towards these poor people. Jokowi also give food but less than Haritanu. And what happened in next? Who is become the president in our country, ladies and gentlemen? Jokowi win. Because of what? Because we believe that our people has rational enough to choose which people is care to them and also has some feeling that they won't work for this country. That's all people want. That's all people need from some people like Jokowi, ladies and gentlemen. So with this kind of vision, with this kind of example, and if you want a betterment in our country, the pros win. Thank you.